This is Ask the Expert Show, where we talk about different experts in the value chain. And today I'm joined by two gentlemen here who we've just struck a conversation. And one thing that made me ask them to be able to join me is the fact that we have just asked two different aspects. And first of all, I'll just ask them to introduce themselves first, and then we get into the discussion.
Thank you very much. I'm Michael Leonard, an agricultural economist, currently promoting dry farming in Isiolo, where I'm trying to help small-scale farmers on how now to use their small portion to grow for business, not just for subsistence, something that they have been used to. So we are trying to promote that
In Isiolo.
I work under an organization called E4Impact. We promote both production as well as business.
Fantastic.
Okay, my name is Gideon Timber. I'm an agribusiness value chain expert. I work with Mount Carmel Farm as a farm manager. And normally what we do is we promote urban farming, and we do deal with vegetables, that is horticulture, and floriculture. At the same time, we do marketing of the products for the farmers within, and also offer expert advice to farmers in the urban setup. And also we do advise on the best practices in agriculture.
Very interesting. And when you're talking about this, and in fact that's a very interesting thing that you mentioned about using small portions in this in the dry areas. Why do you think that is important?
It's important because usually or traditionally in dry areas like Isiolo, where I work from, they are actually pastoralists. But due to climatic change, I think there is extended drought being experienced there. So we found that these farmers, these pastoralists, lose their animals year in year out. So there was need for diversification in terms of diversifying the income as well as food. So in Isiolo, you realize water is a problem. So we now had to come in to at least know how to produce with the small quantity of water that's available that can sustain their household as well as sell excess, and it's doing very well. We are doing on small scale because availability of water is also a problem. That's now we promote small scale first, then after now we advance to other plots as we go ahead.
Market sometimes,
Yeah.
but it works very well. Like in Mombasa area,
Yes.
Kali Kale is a good thing.
Yeah, looking at the nutritional value and all the issue of health aspect.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something that should be adopted.
So when we've been going around, we saw these crops. They look very nice.
Yeah,
And your comment was they are in a controlled environment.
yeah.
And he said that agriculture is volume. Where is the disconnect? Because we find farmers growing, they lack market. Farmers growing, they don't have transport to the market. Produce gets going to the farm. Which one is better for small scale farmers? To do smaller portions over a longer period, or to do a large portion? What makes sense? What makes economic sense?
Diversity is very important when it comes to addressing the issue of agricultural production, because diversity will be in a position to capture the issue of market and all that. So it's important that we engage in agricultural practices that is quite diversified, and also to have a clear portfolio whereby you have, let's say, when you are growing vegetables, you should have a variety of them, so that when you get to market, you will be able to address the needs of every customer that comes your way.
So you advise farmers to grow a number of crops on an acre, or one crop in a bigger area?
Yes, production and scale is also a matter of discussion here. But first, you have to look at the market. You have to make a wider view of the market and be in a position to see what is really needed. And if the market needs more of a certain single crop, then you can venture into it. But if you have a small market where by producing a variety of vegetables, or any other crop, you'll be in a position to capture the entire market and be able to sell and at least get something out of it, some good process from it. Then I think it's a way to go, because diversity is something that is addressed in every.
So you mean that it depends with the market?
Depends with the market.
Okay, so what do you think?
In addition, I think what my brother put forward is on the issue of diversity.
Yes.
Is a key for smallholder farming.
Okay.
If you are a larger producer, then you can specialize on a certain crop based on your market research.
Okay.
Most small-scale farmers fail because they go to the farm without confirming what the market needs. But as a farmer, what you have to start with, you start with the market, then now you come to produce. So that when your things are ready,
yes,
you know exactly where to sell.
But my biggest challenge, and I normally ask this for the experts,
Yes.
is that I go to the market in January. My produce will be ready in March.
Yes.
What happens between January and March?
Normally, as
Because the demand dictates different.
normally as an expert, you have been in this for quite some time, producing, like, let's say, vegetables and horticulture. So you have been noting down what happens depending on the period.
So you have
we
this
know,
data that
we
is
know
available.
what we know what happens in March. We know what happens in January. We know when there will be plenty in a certain period of time. So we also advise farmers that between this time and this time, if you are having kales, by this time they will be plenty in the market. So you have to have a bit less of it and maybe diversify with the other.
Now with the climate change that is happening right now,
Yes.
do you think the data that has been collected 5 years ago can be able to hold the ground now? With the different weather, you see the rain patterns have changed, the sunny intervals are higher, the hotter areas are now drier. Do you think the data that is being collected, can it suffice now? Can it help us now, or we need to do something else?
I think in terms of data, we don't collect data, maybe we don't use data depending on maybe how it was collected or when, but we do these things regularly.
Okay.
We even have the data for last year, what happened last year.
Yes.
We have the data that happens years before. So we try to analyze between this time when we had these occasions, what happened to the market. Last year, what happened to the market. Then with that data, we can now be able
disseminate
to
and take it forward.
advise the farmers.
Interesting. As we finish up, your advice to first of all, your advice to younger entrants in the agriculture area in terms of the agronomies and some of your other young people, and advice to farmers. So probably you can do with the advice to the young entrants in the industry, and then you can talk about advice to the small scale farmers.
I think what I can say to my fellow young youth is agriculture, where we are heading to, based on population pressure that we are encountering year in, year out, and also the climatic change coming in, agriculture is becoming very lucrative.
It is lucrative.
And where we are heading is going to be very lucrative.
So they put in more effort and more energy.
I'm a beneficiary, I'm not talking about theory, I'm talking about practical.
Yes.
But now the problem with agriculture,
Yes.
you have to be very, very patient. If you are coming in, come in, but you need to be very patient, and your patient will pay you.
It's a great pleasure to be invited to this event. And as we do this on A Farmers Media, we want to understand what is the aspect, what are people thinking about, especially the experts in the industry, but not necessarily the experts who help us with the agronomic bit, but the business angle.